We every 5 to 7 years we are updating the diagnostic criteria. First one, if you remember, was were in 2001, then in 2005, 10, 17, and now will be the 2024 revision, right? So I think the explanation is that the amount of evidence produced by scientists and clinical researcher is so intimidating that you have to take them into account and try to put into the new revision of the diagnostic criteria with one objective to make the diagnosis earlier, easier, and therefore impacting the long-term prognosis of our patients. That will be the first time that we have a main paper, and then we have a number of companion papers, one on MRI, the other one on biomarkers, the other one on visual pathway, etc., to facilitate the understanding of the new diagnostic criteria. By the way, they are not so complicated. We just need to have in front of us the algorithms, diagnostic algorithms. So my guess is that all these journals, these high impact journals, they do have a difficult process. So my guess is that in few months, probably beginning of next year, the main paper and the others paper, the companion papers will be published. In relation to the previous point, that the slides I showed during the ECTRIMS will be available in the website of the National MS Society and the ECTRIMS very soon. So just for people to have a look to the diagnostic algorithms and make their life easier. That's on one hand. Then in relation to your question, if I have to comment just a couple of aspects, I would say we are now moving clearly towards a more biological diagnosis of multiple sclerosis, and I think this is essential. This is happening as well in other neurodegenerative diseases such as Parkinson's and Alzheimer's. So we don't need symptoms to make the diagnosis of one specific disease, because once we have symptoms, we are a little bit late. So in some patients with very typical MRI, with what we call RIS, radiological isolated syndrome, some of them with a number of criteria will be considered multiple sclerosis. And this may have a clear impact on the management of our patients in our clinical practice. I think this is one important difference. The other one is that we have incorporated the optic nerve as the fifth typical topography, and this will again facilitate the application of the diagnostic criteria in some countries. Perhaps it's easier to have a visual potential or OCT instead of an MRI of the optic nerve or the spinal cord. So I think that this is very good news as well. And if I may, perhaps the addition, as you said, the addition of a specific, very specific MRI signs such as the CVS and PRLs may help us in the diagnosis of a small proportion of patients who nowadays are not able to get the diagnosis properly.